As many of you may know, Sennheiser is selling their consumer brand to Sonova, so I reached out, got an interview to talk about the future of the company and what it means for people who purchase their headphones like you and me. Let's check it out.
Hi Douglas, my name is Martin and I'm currently head of marketing for Sonova. I joined Sonova 7 years ago, and prior to that I spent 20 years of my career in various positions within the Nestle Group, and happy to be here on the call with you.
Hi Douglas, my name is Jörg. I'm with Sennheiser since 1999, so quite a few years already. I've been holding different positions in sales and marketing over the last years. And since last summer, so a bit more than a year, I'm now responsible for our consumer business globally.
Guys, thank you for joining me today. This has been really interesting for a lot of people in the community. A lot of people are, as I'm sure you're well aware, fans of the products Sennheisers put out over, God knows, more than my lifetime. And since a lot of people heard that there is a sale of the consumer brand, well, a lot of us wonder, what does that mean for the future of Sennheiser? So I'm glad you guys are coming and talking to me here today about that. And I guess the first thing I'm wondering is, well, I guess the big generalized question, what does this mean for Sennheiser? I've read that there's going to be a bit of a division between the consumer brand and the professional brand. So if you could just kind of generalize a little bit for me on the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe I can take that one. Look, we have two parts of the business which are more or less half and half. One is the professional audio, which has three sublegs, and the other one is the consumer, the headphones basically. And what we have done is, or what we are in the middle of, because it has not been finally approved, is finding a partner for our consumer brand. So basically carving out the entire consumer business, people, know-how, machinery, factories, and then at the end handing this over into Sonova.
From there, I guess a big question a lot of us wonder are about the fate of our favorite products. So, last year I put out a video, I loved the 560S. A lot of people love the 6XX. It's one of the most common headphones out there, at least in the hi-fi world, the HD800S, things like that. A lot of us are wondering if the majority of these are considered Sennheiser's professional products, so things like the 560S, the 6XX, the 650, the 598, all those, or if those are part of the consumer brand that's going to be, shifting away.
Yeah. Everything you mentioned is part of the consumer brand. The professional products are, I give you an example, HD25, which is a legend in the market, 280 Pros. So basically products for mixing and monitoring, they will stay with the professional business, but everything that is hi-fi, on the go, true wireless, enhanced hearing, soundbar, and of course the entire range of audiophile, this is going to be transferred.
I guess going from there, I don't know if you guys can tell me this or not, but is there any way to know if any of these products will be continued, like the HD650 and the 800S and things like that?
Absolutely. We would be crazy not to continue, or we would be crazy to discontinue them, actually.
Okay. Very relieving.
No, that's very clear, because they're a hero product. They are fantastic products. They are a reflection on our brand. And obviously the entire audiophile subsegment has also a massive halo effect on the other products that we are building, because here we are going really to the edge of what is physically possible. And we have done this over years, and I don't have to tell you, I mean, you are the headphone expert. When it is about sound, there's no compromise with our brand, and this is what we have delivered for more than 75 years, and this is what we will keep on delivering. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was kind of wondering in the back of my head. I said, oh gosh, well, if they discontinue the 650, I'm just going to have to buy like 10 pairs and keep them all in my closet. I've been using the 650. I bought a pair like I don't know, at this point, probably 11 years ago, something like that. and I've just been using them ever since then. I'm assuming that at some point there might be some product that is discontinued during this whole thing, whether it's just, something that didn't sell well or something else. Across the board, is there like any baseline of support that we can expect over the coming years? So say if something was discontinued that was in the consumer brand during this transition, is there any rough timeline of how long people can expect to still be able to get, parts and things like that?
Yeah. We have clear guidelines for spare parts, and when it comes to headphones, it's cushions, for example, cable, obviously from a certain point of quality upwards. I think the most extreme example is the HD414, built 60s and 70s, where we still supply the yellow ear cushions.
Right.
And the beauty is, Douglas, we have a network of our own corporate web shops worldwide where we have a complete assortment of spare parts. So the policy with regards to offering spare parts, supporting these products, is also not going to change.
Douglas, if I may, let me just elevate this maybe to a strategic level, which I think is important. And from our perspective, we find this a super exciting opportunity to potentially be able to acquire the Sennheiser consumer business. And primarily, we are acquiring this business because we believe in the strength of the brand and in the products which have been built over all these years. Mm-hmm. And so we will continue to heavily invest into all these four main product segments which Sennheiser has built so successfully in the past. And as such, the center of the Sennheiser consumer business will remain Wedemark and will be driven and orchestrated from Wedemark. In addition to that, obviously, we see a further opportunity, which is to develop a segment which we coin or which we framed speech-enhanced hearables. And that is taking everything Sennheiser already has today and does so hugely successful, and then adding in some products, not all of them, but in some products which we will develop in the future, speech-enhanced features, which will make these products even more exciting for certain segments. So in summary, again, we want to continue to invest heavily and continue to invest the existing business successfully in the future, whilst adding other opportunities. So from that perspective, Sennheiser will continue to manage the business as they've managed it before, and they will be managing it, not us, Sonova.
Okay. Actually, could you elaborate on that a little bit? Speech-enhanced features. So what exactly does that entail? Yeah,
and let me, I may be coming from the hearing aid side here, mm-hmm. So some of the stuff may be new to you, but obviously what we see with hearing aids is hearing aids, when your hearing loss starts, then mm-hmm. you don't really want to make this step to buy a hearing aid and wear it the entire day. And there's also, usually you have a hearing loss, when you have a mild hearing loss, you have hearing challenges in situational moments, like in a noisy restaurant or in another environment where it's hard to understand people. And so what we see is the penetration of people who actually have a hearing loss, and the penetration of those who wear hearing aids is actually quite low. And so we want to engage with those consumers earlier on in their journey and, let's say, provide them with a solution where, for example, they say, hey, I want a super hearing device or hearable, which provides me with great sound 80% or 70% of the time. And then there's specific situational moments where I need a speech booster or I need speech enhancement. And there we would want to bring those features into certain to be developed products so that we can provide those features and benefits to consumers. I'm sure you have read about Apple's iOS 15, which they mm-hmm. are now out, which will also have a speech booster functionality in there. So it's not just us looking at this strategic opportunity, but also others.
Very cool. That is very, very cool. I can't tell you the number of times that I've been to like Rocky Mountain Audio Fest or something like that. And you'll see the guys walking around, they have their wireless headphones on their neck and stuff. You'll start talking to somebody and they'll say, "What? You got to speak up." There's a lot of people in the audio community who probably need a little bit of a little help with hearing. That's cool. That's very cool. I'm glad to see that making its way more into consumer electronics.
Sennheiser has this great heritage and great experience and great know-how in terms of sound quality, and we on our side have 50 years or more, 70 years now of experience in what we call speech intelligibility, or how to use complicated algorithms and directional microphones to improve speech understanding and speech enhancement.
Yeah, and we're talking about two companies that are well established, been around the block. There's no new players here. So another question, I guess, based off that, and this is probably a short and sweet one, but are all these products still going to be labeled as Sennheiser in the future, or is it going to be a Sonova thing?
No, definitely Sennheiser.
Okay, so it'll just be more like a Sennheiser it's more of like a joining, I suppose, rather than just like one brand sort of replacing the other on this.
The business has been, or is in the middle of being handed over, but what is important to understand is that we will share the brand. So obviously the brand is a family name. Our professional business is going to continue to use the brand, and we are also, of course, going to continue to use the brand. And there's a brand license agreement in place between both parties, which is infinite. So of course, this is one of the super interesting assets for Sonova. Another one is the access to sales channels, because hearing aid business is a complete different sales channels compared to audio business.
For us, it's not even, I know it's obviously a handing over in terms of a legal ownership, but I would even say it's in terms of running the business, driving the business, it's actually the other way around. We have in the past done very little what we call in the consumer hearing business. We had a little internal division called consumer hearing business, which we started as of recent. But we are actually handing that over to Sennheiser and integrating that into Sennheiser, so it can be holistically driven and managed under the Sennheiser brand and through the Sennheiser channels, because as I say, we are doing this potential acquisition because of the great product Sennheiser has and the great successful brand Sennheiser has built over all these years.
I have a quote here that says, Sennheiser will devote more of its focus into pro audio business, of course, audio communications, and Neumann. Now, the last one, Neumann, that actually drives a little bit of interest for me personally. I have some Neumann microphones. I've got the NDH20, the KU100, the TLM102, stuff like that. And I've worked with the U87, the classic. So I guess based on that, will we be seeing more things like the NDH20 for the people who are into, pro audio and monitoring and things like that? I don't know if you guys will be planning to expand the line of headphones and whatnot under the Neumann brand now.
Yeah, look, I cannot speak for Neumann, but one thing is clear: the need in the market for studio headphone is clearly there. Mm-hmm. And the one you mentioned is the first one they brought to market. It's a successful product, good product. And as I said, the 280 Pro, the 25 will remain in the pro audio sector. So I think it's a fair assumption to say that this range is going to still be there and grow and be extended.
This one actually just popped into my head off the top. Audio production and studios and whatnot moving to embrace sort of like what Apple Music did with spatial audio and Dolby Atmos and any of that. Is there anything in the pipeline we can expect that will take advantage of those tools or enable them for professionals, I guess? That's kind of something that I'm curious about.
Well, when it comes to spatial audio, 3D, immersive listening, what I can tell you is that we have sub-licensed the sub-brand Ambeo that you know from the sound bars,
right.
where we have one product in the market which performs extremely well, Soundbar 01. And there you have these features. So it works with auto calibration, is looking for the reflection zones of your room. And this is certainly a subject that is getting more and more important in the future for the professional use, but as well as for the private use as well. Because when you look into a standard recording studio today in any TV stations, they have a 5.1, 0.1 setup with an acoustic treatment, which is a heavy investment.
Right.
And
oh yeah.
so you can imagine if this would be able with one piece of hardware, certainly very interesting opportunity.
So this one's a little bit more vague. But with the consumer electronics brand, I guess along with the addition of new features like you mentioned, are there any real changes we can expect to see as the customers, as the consumers?
Well, the good news is when it comes to product quality, may it be build quality or may it be sound quality, you will not experience any change. You will also have the same brand. What is one of the beautiful elements of this partnership is really that the one side needs what the other has, you know? So obviously Sonova is a very healthy company, a powerful engine. And when it comes to brand recognition, branding, being more present, and you have seen a lot in the audiophile space, what we have done over the course of the last months with regards to addressing the audience, taking care of the audience and exchanging, you know. With a more powerful engine, we will be able to put this on a more broader scale, because at the end we are serving 4 subsegments. Audiophile is one, and we can already see that with a little bit of love and attention that we have added without Sonova in the last months, this business is bringing fantastic results for us. At the moment, it's 14%, roundabout. That is last year's number of our business. But the growth that we are experiencing, and I think the proof is really in the product launches, may it be the 560S, the i300, the i900, and there's more in the roadmap.
Those are the things I'm very excited for. And you know, actually, this rolls into another thing, and I'm sure the answer to this one's pretty obvious. But we already said that, you know, the products people love are going to be continued. I assume that also means that you guys are going to be, you know, continuing to do research and development on more of the high-end audiophile products that, you know, people are looking forward to. I remember there was, of course, the release of the 800S, the 820, things like that. So I'm assuming you guys are planning to continue pushing forward in the high end as well.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, we have what Martin mentioned. The majority of the R&D engineers, acoustic mechanics, is here in Wedemark, will remain in Wedemark. And not to forget, we have our factory. We have our factories, actually, where we produce. So we develop, we produce, and we also tune. And especially when it comes to transducer technology, that's a very, very important ingredient of the entire product. And this is where we score. This is one of the places where we score, because when you see the level of detail and the level of attention that we are taking with regards to technical specifics, this is pretty high.
Well, that honestly runs me through my list. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. If I had to say anything for you guys, I would say this is great. I really hope you guys keep moving in the direction of like the 560S and stuff like that, because we love that one from, you know, my end, from the consumer end. And on the other end, if either of you would like to say anything for the audiophile community, or, you know, speak directly to my audience, the red carpet's out if either of you would like to say anything.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Thanks, Douglas. So from our perspective, as I said, this is a fantastic opportunity for us to partner with Sennheiser, with an amazing brand. And they have a beautiful audiophile business, which is an amazing business with a lot of opportunity. And from our perspective, from Sonova's perspective, we will continue to invest heavily into this segment and leverage all the know-how and technology Sennheiser has and the brand has, and we are excited about that. So a lot of good stuff to come in the future.
All right, gentlemen, that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hopefully we'll all talk sometime in the future with good news.
Thanks for having us, Douglas.
Having us.
So guys, that was the interview. Thank you Sennheiser and Sonova for joining me today on this interview. Guys, if you like this video, please leave a like down below, a comment letting me know what you thought about this video and what you'd like to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can at forum.hifiguides.com. And as always, don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this. Till the next one, guys. Peace.